Hello, Matthew. Here are your carburetors. There's your carburetor number B7067. And interestingly enough, B7067. What did I say over here? B7067. And the same thing over here. I've never seen two carburetors with identical serial number, but there you go. Interesting. B7067. Anyway, they turned out fabulous. I'm going to go over some things here to help you with. Let's see, for starters, idle mixture screws. The second barrel of each carburetor idle mixture screw is a dummy. Don't mess with it. Don't need to mess with it. We've got all new factory gaskets, as you can see by the red here. All new factory red gaskets. All the machine work's been done. All the flat surfaces have been milled or dressed down. New throttle shafts, new throttle shaft bushings, new butterflies. Even the idle mixture screw holes have been repaired. All correct cadmium plating, like original. Let's see, what else have we got here? Let's do some. Well, the cold front's coming through. It's going to ice Dallas down to about 21 degrees overnight, so it's pretty cold out here right now. So this is a true cold start at 48 degrees, and it's getting colder. So I may I may rush this a little bit. In terms of installation, you're going to want to bring them out here. You're going to want to use 2 wrenches on the fuel fitting here. You want to stabilize this fuel fitting and then use the other wrench to move this fuel fitting, the swivel. Stabilize this one so you don't rip the threads out by accident. When installing the carburetors, install them loosely so that you can wiggle them up and down, and then install your air log on the carburetors. And then do your final tightening of the carburetors at that point, because otherwise, if you don't, you're going to end up with the carburetors out of position and the air log will not install. Greatest things that you can use on these carburetors are these 1/4 inch dry swivel sockets that get up underneath the hard to reach places. Let's see what else we got to do here. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, what we're going to do is, I've already tuned them and adjusted them, obviously. But what we're going to do is we're going to check our airflow in the second barrel, airflow in the first barrel, which is synchronizing the carburetors. We'll check our idle mixture screws for idle mixture, obviously. And then what I use for tuning is the RPM scale, so that I can get the best RPM by tuning the carburetors, and I'll show you that, and also show you how nicely these things idle. Now then, when we activate the choke, the actual choke, what you're doing is you may notice right here, you're actually, can you see that? You're actually moving the throttle. So as you choke the carburetors, you're actually increasing the throttle. So that's what acts as your choke. The measurement, the setting for that teeny little set screw back there is 15 thousandths. I'll set that for you, but you can double check it. Anyways, 15 thousandths clearance, and you know you're in trouble with carburetors when you have to use a feeler gauge to set them up. So the one thing that you can adjust, another thing that you can adjust in addition to the idle mixture screws, is these set screws right here, which help align your choke lever. Remember, you've got your choke cable on the dash. You got your pull knob, and then you got about 2 feet of steel piano wire going through the casing, and then that attaches to the air log, and then comes straight down and attaches to the choke levers. And of course, when you pull your choke, the choke levers want to come up in an arc, whereas this cable is going up and down like that. So all of a sudden, a free cable on the dash that's not hooked up to anything is stiff to pull because you're pulling against an arc. So make sure everything is lubed on the cable to give you the most easiest pull, and even then it's still going to be a difficult pull. What else to mention here? I guess that's it. I think we should start some carburetors. So let's see what we got here. See, switch on, high, choke. Oh, I was going to mention we cannot tune these things until we get some water temperature. I get some water temperature. Right now you can see we got no water temperature. So we're going to back off. Should have an idle, even though it's cold out here. It should idle in the cold pretty well. Alright, and we're still waiting for water temperature. And we've got our idle. See, we're on the high scale. While we're warming up the engine, we're on the high scale. Let's go to the low scale. And we are looking at about 800. It'll warm up. The RPM will drop a little bit. It's about 775, 800. It'll drop down to about maybe 700, I think. So we will watch for that. And in the meantime, I will accelerate the warming up process. While we're doing that, we check to make sure we don't have any drips out of our accelerator pump discharge nozzle. Let that idle, and while we're here we will look inside to see if we have any drips out of our accelerator pump discharge nozzles. There's your nozzle there, no drips. Our nozzle there, no drips. That's good. If we do get any drips, generally it is this check valve right here that's malfunctioning. It's got some grit in it. And you can notice that you have a drip coming out of the accelerator pump discharge nozzle you'll have the engine will have a rolling miss. That's what it's called, rolling miss. And then this generally has got a little bit of grit in it. Alright, we're about to open up the thermostat here. Thermostat opened up. We can now tune some carburetors or check for the tune. What we want to do now is to make sure our second barrel should be drawing very little air. The factory generally drew about 2.5, and we want to get that amount or less. So right here you can see I'm putting this up against here, and no movement. Let's check over here. Alright, we had about not even 1.5. So you can see we have minimal movement. Now we're going to check to make sure we have the same draw through the throats of the carburetors. And what you're going to do is disconnect the throttle linkage so we know these are independent of each other, because we don't want the incorrect throttle linkage adjustment to interfere with our tuning. So we're going to come here and we're going to check. Oh, I meant to mention to you, this is the best thing to use for tuning. The synchrometer and the BK 1-35 kilograms per hour. That unit, this as it comes right out of the box, is perfect for adjusting carburetor. Perfect for working on the 190SL carbs, and these are sold everywhere online. Who is it? Anyway, Amazon and those kinds of guys. Alright, so we're going to use this to synchronize our carburetor. So we're at 5 right here. I'm going to come over here. Let's move this a little bit closer. Alright, we're at 5 right here, actually a smidge over. So what I'm going to do is, my choice, I can either increase the other one or decrease this one. So what we're going to do is decrease this throttle right here. This idle screw, making sure the lever pulls back. I do not have a very strong spring on here, so I want to make sure that goes back to 5. Come over here. Here we go. Again, it's 5. It's a beautiful thing. Alright, now the next item up is we are going to adjust our idle mixture screws. And our goal here is to adjust the idle mixture screw to get the best running of the engine. And you can do this very easily by listening to it, but also it's great using the tachometer. And so what we'll do is, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it by ear first, and you should be able to hear the engine drop off. The further I go to here, it's starting to dip. Alright, so we back it out. Back it out. We get our best running. Here to degrade again. So we want the sweet spot right in between. And you can obviously do that by hearing, but you can also do it with the tachometer. So what we're going to do is I'm going to adjust while we watch the tach here. So we want on the low side, give us some. Alright, come on. Malfunctioning on me. There we go. Alright, now we have tachometer. Let me get up here. Okay, so right now we're at 6 and change. So let's say we degrade the idle. See, it's starting to drop off. Alright, now it's backing out. Get our best idle. We got 650 almost. Starting to degrade a little bit. So let's go back. Let it give it a minute to recover. I'm screwing the screw back in and out, just waiting, trying to get the best possible running. Screwdriver slipped off. There you go, about 600 and so. Now let's go over to the other one. Do the same thing. Pick up a little bit idle. I can hear it degrading. So let's go back where we were. Screwdriver keeps slipping off. Alright. Picking up a little bit of idle. Looks pretty good right there. Now we're going to switch over to the high scale so we don't ruin the machine. Alright, we got our carburetors adjusted now. Last thing is we're going to adjust our linkage so it just snaps in place without changing our idle. Sounds like it's going to try to change our idle, so I got to adjust this. It's on the turnbuckle. I'm not using the turnbuckle right now because I'm cold. I want to finish up. Alright, so now we've got our linkage adjusted and installed. We have not picked up any idle to speak of. check our idle. Come on, machine. It's cold. And back to about 600 on the idle. So we got good recovery, good response, and then good recovery. So I'm going to call. Hold out here. I'm going to call these a very nice set of carburetors. That's a nice restart. Alright, thank you, Matthew, for your patience on these carburetors, and I think you will find we have a very, very nice set of carburetors for you. Okay. Thank you very much.